Don't exercise if you have bad knees. I bet you've heard that a million times. However, the right kind of exercise can actually strengthen your knees and ease the pain. So that's the good news, that you don't have to give up on moving. But the key to feeling better lies in how you move. That's why I made this video with the 7 best exercises for bad knees that I know actually deliver good results. Let's dive in. The first exercise is walking backward, which many physical therapists use. This tactic works because it engages muscles that stabilize your knees in a different way than walking forward. Basically, you're shooting 2 birds with 1 stone. You're strengthening the stabilizing muscles, but not causing strain on the knee joint. This exercise also improves balance and coordination. A great tip is to walk backward at an incline. I actually got this from a comment on one of my recent videos about walking hacks. So thank you, Vicky Hun1668. For everyone watching this, please comment and share your tips as well. We can all learn from them. Now, back to walking backward at an incline. This tactic increases pressure on the knees, but that's actually part of what makes it effective. This increased pressure can encourage the cartilage and connective tissues to adapt and become more resilient, promoting better knee function over time. Plus, you're also strengthening your glutes and hamstrings more, which play an important part in stabilizing your knees. If walking backwards still puts too much pressure on your knees, an excellent alternative for bad knees is pedaling backward. Cycling significantly reduces joint strain. When you pedal backward, you're engaging especially the quadriceps and hip flexors, but with less direct force on the knee joint itself. The backward motion changes the muscle activation pattern, meaning you target stabilizer muscles around the knee that don't get as much work during regular forward pedaling. This shift improves the range of motion in your knee, which is a great tactic to reduce stiffness. Besides, the continuous circular movement increases synovial fluid production, so it lubricates your knee joint. That's essential if you want to keep your knees healthier. Another easy exercise for bad knees is the half-kneeling hip flexor dynamic stretch. This stretch targets the hip flexors and quadriceps, so it reduces knee strain and improves alignment. This position also engages your core and glutes and stabilizes your hips. So get on one knee with your opposite foot flat on the floor in front of you at a 90-degree angle. Slowly lean forward into the stretch while keeping your back straight and hips square. Don't lean forward too much if this is your first try. I recommend doing this active stretch back and forth for 30 seconds on each knee multiple times per day. The fourth exercise for knee health is a bit more intermediate to advanced. I'm talking about curtsy lunges. This type of lunge combines a forward and lateral motion, which forces your knees to stabilize in multiple planes of movement. This extra challenge improves knee joint resilience and balance. Basically, curtsy lunges are particularly useful for injury prevention. To get the most benefit, keep your core engaged and make sure your front knee stays aligned with your toes as you lunge. Try to take a larger step back and focus on pushing your hips back to reduce the impact on your knee joint and let your glutes take more of the weight. If you don't step back enough, your knees will have to do more work, and it's easier to lose your balance. Remember to push through your entire soul when you lift back up from the lunge. Like with any lunge, start slow, focusing on control and form. Then gradually increase the depth of your movement as your knee strength improves. At number 5, we have another advanced exercise for bad knees, the squat. Now, I know what you're thinking. Squats are tough with bad knees, but don't worry. If you do them correctly, squats are one of the best ways to strengthen the muscles that support your knees. And building the muscles around your knees reduces the load on the joint itself. Here's how to get started. Keep your feet shoulder width apart. Lower yourself as if you're sitting back in a chair, and don't let your back round. Push through your entire soul to lift yourself up again. If that feels too hard, try a sumo squat. So, plant your feet twice shoulder width apart. Imagine you're screwing your feet on the floor to apply even pressure on the entire sole and to open up your knees. Then, push your hips back and bend your knees to execute the squat, but keep your chest upright as much as possible. This way, you're minimizing strain on the knee joint while maximizing muscle activation in the glutes, hips, and inner thighs. Besides building muscle, squats also promote better knee alignment, which improves your overall joint stability. And having better knee stability decreases the risk of injury. Remember to start slow with shallow squats and gradually increase your depth as your knees get stronger. Another great exercise for knee strength and stability is the lateral lunge. This lunge engages the knees, but also improves hip flexibility and strength. That's really important because your hips and knees are connected through the thighs. If you have poor hip internal rotation, for example, your knees will suffer too. So if your knees seem to give up on you on tougher moves like squats, or if you have knee pain, it's worth checking your internal hip rotation. If that's the issue, lateral lunges can help. Be mindful of your form, though. Keep your chest up, toes pointed forward, and knees aligned with your toes. Make sure you've stepped far enough to the side to make the move effective. Start with a shallow range of motion and build up as you get more comfortable. The last exercise for bad knees is a classic. I'm talking about seated knee extensions. This exercise is ideal if you have knee pain or are recovering from an injury. To get started, sit on a chair or bench with your feet flat on the floor. Slowly extend one leg out in front of you, straightening the knee fully while contracting your quadriceps. Hold for a brief moment at the top, then lower your leg back down. Do 8 to 15 reps, focusing on controlled movement and muscle engagement. Knee extensions isolate the quadriceps, strengthening the muscles responsible for extending and stabilizing the knee joint. The stronger these muscles are, the less strain is placed on the knee itself. That means better overall knee function and less pain. So, those are my go-to exercises for bad knees. Walking and pedaling backward, plus the hip flexor stretch and knee extensions are easy, beginner-friendly alternatives. If you're more advanced, try lateral lunges, curtsy lunges, and squats. Remember to use proper form for all these and listen to your body. If you have bad knees, it's best to exercise for shorter intervals up to 5 or 10 minutes, but more frequently throughout the day. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me what exercises for bad knees you tried, what worked, and what didn't. If you liked this video, remember to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, share, or comment. I know it's boring to keep hearing me ask this, but I promise you, it helps me a lot. That said, let's move this talk to the comments.